What's up, schmucks? Welcome to the second episode of Turkey Talk. There's no preamble this week because last week, the first episode, I dedicated a little bit of time to explaining what this is. So, if you're here, you listen to the first one, you're back for round two. Hi, hello, welcome. If you're new, hi, hello, welcome. But you're not getting any explanation. We're just jumping right in. Okay, so we're gonna go through the news. I have a kind of a topic, which is really just a news story I have a lot more to say about than the rest. And then we'll get to the weekly media club. Homework was Batman 1989. I watched it. I'm gonna talk about it. But until then, we're going to go through the news. So just as a quick kind of let you know what we're talking about, and there are timestamps if you want to jump around. But we have new trailers for The Mandalorian and Grogu, The Mummy, and Toy Story 5. We have casting for Sonic 4. We have a plot synopsis for Spider-Man 4, which is Brand New Day. News on a Bill Hader movie, which might not be interesting to most people, but to me, very, very exciting. We have another Venom movie happening, and then there's another Evil Dead happening, and those are the things we're going to talk about, all right? So let's start with the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. It doesn't look very good, does it? I don't think so. I will I will say, I'm not a Star Wars guy. I used to be, but then I stopped being young and I kind of grew out of it, which isn't to denigrate Star Wars and people that like Star Wars. You're allowed to be 50 and love Star Wars. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just not for me anymore. I don't know. I don't care. I like Star Trek, love Star Trek, but not really a Star Wars kind of person. I did like Andor. No, I loved Andor. Cool, political socialist Star Wars. Hell yeah, give me more of that shit. Also, Andor feels more Star Trek than Star Wars. That might be why I really enjoyed it. But I don't know. Like there's like intrigue and espionage and politics and commentary and a really cool explanation of the Force in Andor and all of that. I really loved that. And then we have this, and it's just, I don't know, man. It doesn't look very good visually. Like, it just looks like shit. It's lit really bad. It looks like a TV show, but like a bad TV show, which I think The Mandalorian got worse as it went. I didn't like season 1. At the time, I remember being very excited for it. And as it was coming out week to week, I was like forcing myself to like it because, I was still very into Star Wars back then. What was that, 2019? I still liked Star Wars. I think one of my first proper video essays was me talking about why The Mandalorian's not very good. And I would love to go back to, analyzing The Mandalorian, especially now that I'm a more seasoned YouTuber. But it's just, I don't know. I think the way it started as an interesting idea about what if we had a cool bounty hunter outlaw show that just so happens to be set in Star Wars. And I think that's a cool pitch. It's just that, like, the way that they went about it, like, to me, wasn't very interesting week to week. But then, Dave Filoni got his greasy fucking hands on it, and it just became, glup shitto of the week kind of shit. The way that he evolved what started as a kind of off in the corner of Star Wars thing into his own little sequel to Rebels, and it had backdoor pilots for the Boba Fett show and the Ahsoka show, and all of this is going to lead into a Thrawn thing. It's just fucking nonsense to me. I don't know. This is the type of Star Wars shit that I have absolutely no patience for. I want cool things like Andor. I liked The Acolyte. I don't know, like, we were supposed to be getting a Rey movie, like Rey all these years later. What's she up to? I would love to see that. There's talk of a James Mangold prequel thing that he described as Ben-Hur and 10 Commandments with lightsabers. Absolutely. That's the kind of stuff I want to see. I want to see weird, cool shit in Star Wars. I don't care about, ooh, what if this character that you saw in a TV show when you were 12 came back? I don't fucking care. I'm ready to move on. And I think that's ultimately, I'm going on about this a lot more than I needed to. We're not even talking about the trailer. I don't know. It doesn't look very good. It looks like a hit list movie, and they're going to go around, they're going to kill some people. Sigourney Weaver's in it. There's a guy with a hat who's probably someone that I don't recognize. There's a Martin Scorsese monkey alien. But, like, the whole Filoni-ness of Star Wars, what he brings to Star Wars is, here's a thing that you recognize. It's not even, I wouldn't even consider it nostalgia. It's not old enough to be nostalgia. It's just, I don't know. He's so against moving on. And so many Star Wars fans are. I think that's why The Last Jedi didn't go over well with people. I love The Last Jedi. But The Last Jedi is a movie about, bury the past, kill it, move on. We're in this for the long haul, and if that's the case, we need to focus on the future. We need to do new things. I like that, but so many Star Wars fans are so conservative about this. They're just a bunch of fucking sticks in the mud. Like, they're so against new ideas in this franchise that's been around since the 70s. They want everything to be the same. It's good, it's evil with no nuance. And, it's a bunch of, stormtroopers are doing a thing. And this guy who's got his legs chopped off, he's back, but he's got new big legs. And, whatever. Like, I don't know, man. I know there's like a mall show coming out, but I don't care. I don't know. I'm tired of that. I want new things. What good is this franchise if all we're going to do is recycle shit? We're running out of things to recycle, Dave. Let's move it along. All right, anyway, it's enough of that. Anyway, sorry. Mandalorian and Grogu. Doesn't look very good. Probably still going to see it. The only part of it that I have any real thing to say about is I think the Grogu puppet needs to not be a thing. I think it was cute on the TV show. And in some shots, it's fun, But also, like, there's other parts of it where it just, I don't know. I think it clashes with the big, realistic-esque CGI aliens to have this puppet. Like this Muppet that's just hanging around Pedro Pascal while he's going up against big CGI Carmy from The Bear. I don't know. I don't know. I don't care for it. Doesn't look very good. I'll still see it because why not? Now moving on. Sonic 4. We have casting for Amy. We are getting Christian Bell as the voice of Amy in Sonic 4. I like that a lot. I think she's great. Love The Good Place. Realistically, I don't know anything about Amy. I don't know anything about Sonic. The only Sonic games I've played, I played Sonic Unleashed as a kid. I played Sonic Colors when it came out on Switch. I think that's it. I think somehow those are the only two Sonic games I've played. Yeah, that's probably not something you should admit proudly. But I like the Sonic movies a lot. Okay, I like 3 a lot. 1 I don't think is good. I think Sonic 1 is not very good at all. Ben Schwartz as Sonic carries that. James Marsden's fine. Sonic 2, fun. Sonic 2 is a lot of fun. But Sonic 3 genuinely surprised me how much I enjoyed it. It's got a lot of heart. It's got a lot of good action. It's very funny. It's a good movie, really good stuff. But yeah, keep making these. I like the Knuckles show. I thought the Knuckles show was really fun. But yeah, just keep making these Sonic movies. Make fucking 10 more. I don't care. I will be there for all of them because Ben Schwartz as Sonic is excellent. That is such a fun character. Moving on, we have a new trailer for Lee Cronin's The Mummy. So last week I went on about why I think reinventing the Universal monsters in the way that directors and writers have been doing the last couple of years is absolutely brilliant. I mean, The Bride is a weird-looking thing that I'm very excited for. Lee Winnell's Invisible Man, I've gone on about this a lot, about how it's a fucking incredible movie. Lee Winnell's Wolfman, I am a big shooter for that movie. I think that movie is highly underappreciated. But this, Lee Cronin's The Mummy, oh my god, this looks fucking awesome. It looks like, I mean, he did Evil Dead Rise, and this looks very Evil Dead. I mean, she's the mummy, but she's very much like a deadite. But I'm not complaining. I think this is cool. I am, I said this last week, I'm a big believer that The Mummy is of maybe not the lamest, but one of the lamest Universal monsters, one of the lamest cums, classic Universal monster, for anybody that is unaware. We call them cum on this channel. But I think this looks really cool. It looks fucking gross. She's like peeling her skin off, like the wrapping, like she's the mummy. Hell yeah, that's cool. I'm curious if the movie's going to contextualize why her family is so willing to take this clearly zombie into their house. Like, is someone going to say, hey, she looks like she's a fucking corpse, and someone's going to go, but we love her. I'll accept that. That's fine. But if everyone just looks at this very obvious demon creature and is like, woohoo, I'm going to have to, come on. I can only suspend my disbelief so far. But it looks really good. I like that we're not doing Imhotep. I like that we're doing a different thing than all-powerful mummy god is back from the dead, gonna conquer the world. Because that's like the Tom Cruise one did that, but it did that and it was bad, but it did that, but it was also trying to create the dark universe. And this one is different. But, you know, I don't know. I'm not seeing a lot of people complain about this take on the mummy and how it's not really the mummy per se, how it's not Imhotep, how it's not like the Brendan Fraser ones, how it's different. I'm not seeing a lot of complaints about that, which I'm happy about. Because there was a lot of people complaining about like Lee Winnell's Wolfman being a completely different take on it, and it wasn't Larry Talbot and blah blah blah. But this, like, I don't know. I don't know what else you do with the mummy. The mummy is such an uninteresting Universal monster. Like, it looks cool in the poster, it looks cool in the merchandise, but beyond that, he's lame. You know, he's Dracula, but he's not as cool. You know, Dracula is sexy, and he sucks blood, and he's got a funny voice. And the mummy is just Dracula, but lame. He's Cuck Dracula. That's probably the best I could put it. You've heard of Count Dracula, but now you've got Cuck Dracula. The mummy's not even a cuck. I'm just saying words. But yeah, I think this looks really good. I'm very excited for it. Another incredible new modern rendition of a cum character. How could you go wrong? Moving on, our next piece of news, we have the first plot synopsis of Spider-Man Brand New Day, which I'm looking at right now, and I will read to you. Ahem! 4 years have gone by since we last caught up with our friendly neighborhood hero. Peter Parker is no more, but Spider-Man is at the top of his game, keeping New York City safe. Things are going well for our anonymous hero until an unusual trail of crimes pulls him into a web of mystery larger than he's ever faced before. In order to take on what's ahead, Spider-Man not only needs to be at the top of his physical and mental game, but he must also be prepared to face the repercussions of his past. I think this gives us very little to go on. Based on this, there was that leaked trailer, and then the set photos and stuff. I'm curious. We still don't really know who the main villain is. I think it's Tombstone. I think, because they can't use Kingpin for legal reasons, I think they're gonna go Tombstone is kind of like in Spectacular Spider-Man. He's the big man, right? He's like the top criminal boss in New York. He's running everything. So I think that's what they're gonna do. We know that Scorpion, Tarantula, Boomerang are all in this and will play a role. There were, I think, in the leaked trailer, and then there was also, like, plot leaks and stuff, that the Hand is in this to some extent. That's very interesting. No confirmation on if Daredevil is. So, that would be cool. We know Punisher is. Hulk is apparently in it. But yeah, I mean, there's also rumors that Yelena Belova is in this. My only real concern with this movie is that it might be a little busy. There might just be too many things happening in this. But I also feel like a lot of that could just be montage shit. Like, he might just have a very brief interaction with Yelena Belova, because the Thunderbolts are the new Avengers. So she might just be around in New York, and they have, like, a very quick interaction, and that's it. It's a cameo at most. The Hand might be a cameo. Tarantula might be in a montage sequence. Boomerang might be a blink and you miss it, whatever. They might just be henchmen characters to assist Tombstone. Like how in Into the Spider-Verse there was a bunch of different villains, but they were all just henchmen for Kingpin. So we could be doing something similar to that. But the part of this that interests me the most is unusual trail of crimes pulls him into a web of mystery. Are we doing crime, criminal underworld shit with Spider-Man? Because that sounds awesome. That's like typically some Batman shit, but we're doing that with Spider-Man? That's going to be cool as fuck. And then the last part about he must be prepared to face the repercussions of his past. Does that only refer to Scorpion? Because we know Scorpion's in this. He's wanted revenge on him since Homecoming. Or is this in line with MJ being back? Now, I want to talk about the MJ thing, because we know Zendaya is in this. So, it's been a held belief by a lot of people, myself included, that the ending of No Way Home, where he has Doctor Strange erase everybody's memory of Peter Parker, he loses MJ, and the idea of bringing her back in the very next movie, and they're going to do their relationship again, it seems trite almost. The idea of we went through all this work to put him in a new position just to do the same thing again. I felt that way for a long time, that it cheapened the ending of No Way Home. But since that movie's come out, I guess I've grown a heart. But I find the idea of Peter Parker and MJ being soulmates, that a multiversal magic spell can't keep them apart forever, that they will fall in love again because they are fated to do so. I think that is beautiful. And if that's the path that we're going down here, I would love that, honestly. And he doesn't have to end up with her at the end of this one. It could be a slow romance across this second trilogy he's getting. Where by the end of it, he does get with her again. And he gets a happy ending in the MCU. He can hand off the baton to Miles or something. And Miles can be our new Spider-Man. And Peter can retire with his soulmate, the girl of his dreams. That girl that he's had a crush on since his second mainline movie in this franchise. I think that would be really cool and really cute. God, I don't know. I like that. I think that'd be sweet. But yeah, I don't know. I am looking forward to this one, though. I don't love the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies for the simple reason that his arc is largely the same across all three. In all three of the movies, his idea of what it means to be Spider-Man, what it means to be Peter Parker is misplaced. And so he goes on his little adventure, and then by the end of it, he goes, I finally learned what it means to be Spider-Man. In Homecoming, he wanted to be this big, world-renowned Avenger hero, and by the end he realizes, I'm a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. That's what it means to be Spider-Man. And then the second one, he's like, I don't want to do this. I want to take a break. And then he goes, I can't, because I'm a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I've learned what it means to be Spider-Man. And then in the third one, he's like, I don't want to do this because I want to have a life and I want to do a thing. His arc in the third one is almost exactly the same as his second movie arc. And he's like, I don't want to do this. I want to be a real boy. I want to be Peter Parker. I'm Tom Holland. And then by the end of the movie, he goes, I can't do that because I have a responsibility. I'm a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I finally learned what it means to be Spider-Man. I fucking get it. There's no way we go through that again. There's just no way that he repeats that same fucking process a fourth time. We have to move on. He is Spider-Man now. Let's put him in weird scenarios that he's got to find his way out of. That's all I ask. And I know I don't know, but I'm suspecting from the leaked trailer that had about 4 fucking pixels, something's happening to him where he wakes up in a web cocoon. There's organic webs coming out of his arms and shit. Hell yeah. Give me some of that shit. Spider-Man body horror? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god, yes. I'm just saying that now that we've moved on from the John Watts trilogy, which I don't think is bad, but I don't think it's great either. And we have Destin Daniel Cretton, is that his name? Dustin Daniel Cretton, the Shang-Chi director, at the helm. I think it is the same writers, though. I'll double check that later when I don't care anymore. But I don't know. I'm excited for a new direction for this version of Spider-Man. Love the new suit. Love the set pics we were seeing, like that big tank chase thing. Love the idea of a Spider-Man who is active in New York with other superheroes running around doing stuff. Like, all of this is shaping up to be a Spider-Man movie that we've never seen before in the best ways possible. So I am just hoping, praying to God that this is like the quintessential Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 2. Because I feel like no Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 2 has been like a proper Spider-Man movie, right? Like Spider-Man 3 had its issues. The Amazing Spider-Man movies are not great. They're very flawed, especially that second one. The Spider-Verse movies yes, they are Spider-Man movies. They're about Spider-Man doing Spider-Man shit, but they feel so different and bigger, and the multiverse and all of that. Like, I don't know. I don't know. And then the Tom Holland ones have their fair share of issues, and a lot of that is him becoming Spider-Man. I'm hoping that this can be the first proper, like, big quintessential Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 2. If that makes any sense at all. That might just be absolute fucking nonsense. Anyway, okay, next we have Toy Story 5 trailer. I don't know, man. Okay. First up, I'm not gonna see this. I mean, if I do see this, I'll wait till it comes to Disney Plus, but I have no urgency for Toy Story. It's not even that I think I'm like above it or like I'm above animated movies, but I don't know. I'm kind of over the Toy Story thing. I don't know. 3, I really liked. 4, I washed over me. I know I saw it. Couldn't tell you a thing about it. I know Keanu Reeves is in it. And this one, I think this just looks really stupid. And I know, like, it's like, oh, it's a kid's movie. Toy Story 1 is fucking awesome. Toy Story 2 makes me cry. Toy Story 3 makes me cry. This looks bad. I don't know. Maybe I'm an asshole. Maybe I'm just too old to enjoy these things. But I just don't think this looks very good. I think this looks really stupid. It looks very childlike in a way that the first 3 aren't. Maybe that's just for the trailer. Maybe there's a lot of depth and heart to this one. But I also have I have an issue with the whole tech versus toys angle that they're going with. Mainly because the reason that technology is being hoisted upon children is not because, like, toys don't serve a purpose anymore. It's because kids have been fucking priced out of toys. Like, I don't know if you've taken a stroll down the Lego aisle recently, but it's bleak, dude. Toys are fucking expensive. As an adult, I collect action figures. I shouldn't say I collect. I have some. Like, I'll buy the odd Marvel Legend. I'll buy a DC multiverse figure. But, like, the average multiverse figure, or even Marvel Legend, that runs you $25, right? If you're gonna buy toys for a kid, you gotta buy a handful. And there are other toys for children, but that's like a small example. Look at Legos. Legos are very expensive. There was a remote control Godzilla that came out when the last MonsterVerse movie came out. Looked very cool. That shit was like $80. Which I don't know. What parent is buying that for their kid? Because you have to buy a handful of toys for a kid for like a toy box. You can't give your kid one toy and that's the end of it. So, like the idea of, well, here's a tablet, and they now make in this movie, a tablet designed for children. So it's got like the built-in parameters, whatever that may be, screen time limits to what they can look up and watch and whatever. Shit like that. Like they tech companies, they know what they're doing when they market things to a parent who doesn't want to spend $200 on a handful of toys when they could spend $200 on an iPad that will do it will keep their kid occupied for hours on end. And, in terms of like cost effectiveness, is probably a better investment than a handful of toys. And that's not me saying that like, parents should just say fuck it and buy their kid an iPad. I have worked in childcare for a long time, and there's a lot of value in kids getting hands-on play with toys and whatevers. Like that has a place. And that should not be replaced with technology, in my opinion. As someone with no kids. But, like the idea that, in this scenario that kids just don't want toys anymore, they would prefer the iPad. Not that that's entirely fictitious, but it's not that black and white. There's nuance to this. And, in addition to that, to go on a tangent, I guess, a lot of people, they go on about, kids don't do anything anymore. All they do is sit inside on their phone. Everything is too fucking expensive. Like, when I was a teenager, I would go out with my friends in our little bumfuck town, and we would, like, just walk around. We'd grab some ice cream. We'd do whatever. And that could, $20 could get you pretty far not too long ago. Now, it's $20 to see a fucking movie. And that's before concessions and what have you. And, going anywhere, where are you going to go? A lot of places don't have anything for the youth. Malls aren't really a thing anymore. What, are you going to hang out at the local Target? That's boring. There's just such a limit for what young people can do. So the most cost-effective thing for them is to stay home, on their iPads, on their consoles, on their computers, on their phones. Maybe talk to people on voice chat, Discord, whatever it might be. But that's just the way it is now because of capitalism and because people are being priced out of enjoying things outside of their homes. And it's fucking miserable, dude. So I don't know. I just have like an issue with this movie that wants to frame this thing as such a simple black and white, kids just want the screens, they don't want the Buzz Lightyear action figure. I have such an issue with that because it's a much more nuanced thing. There's layers to it. There's like an actual conversation to be had about that. And I don't know, it just feels like it's being trivialized by a kid's movie. Am I too woke for Toy Story? Is that the question? I think the answer is yes. But moving on, we don't need to dwell on this. The world sucks. Let's not think about it. Moving on, this I'm very excited for. Bill Hader is making a horror movie. He will write, direct, and star in it. It is called They Know. The film follows a divorced dad who grows suspicious that his ex-wife is dating a mysterious man who is having a strange influence on their children. This is going to be good. I can tell you right now, this is going to be fucking awesome. Now, anyone who's seen Barry will tell you the same thing. Because by the end of Barry is the show that Bill Hader starred in, wrote, directed a lot of it, produced, he's a showrunner, he was everything. That was his show. Barry is brilliant. It is probably my favorite show of all time. But that final season, he wrote, directed every episode, and there's parts of that final season that are just a straight up fucking horror movie, dude. Oh my god, it's so good. There's a jump scare in the first episode that gets me real good. There's some really good horror and tension in one of the episodes where Sally is just walking around the house. There's like a figure following her that's really creepy. So I can tell you right now, this is going to be awesome. I have been waiting for the announcement of a Bill Hader horror movie. I just knew this was happening, and I know it's going to be fucking awesome. That being said, imagine my disappointment when I found out that the big thing he did after Barry was the Cat in the Hat movie, that was the thing he wanted to produce and star in. And I thought that was it. I was like, oh, okay, sure. But then we got this! So excited. This is going to be really good. Okay. Moving on, there is another Venom movie happening. It is an animated Venom movie. It is actively in the works. Zach Lipovsky and Adam Stein, who did Final Destination Bloodlines, are set to direct, and Tom Hardy is involved in some capacity. I would imagine that's probably a producer role. If this is going to be part of the Venom verse, then maybe he'll be voicing Venom again. But I would imagine that this will probably be a different thing. This interests me. It does. It really does. Are we continuing the Venomverse? Are we going to go back to Sony's terrible Spider-Man villain universe, but it's animated now? The Venom movies are the only ones that ever made any money. So this seems like a smart decision. But also, if this is, just something entirely different, I'm cool with that too. I would like to see Spider-Man involved in some capacity. I think Venom kind of works without Spider-Man, but I don't know. We just had 3 Spider-Man-less Venom movies that aren't very good, mind you. so I would like something different this time. But what are we doing for a Venom animated movie? Are we doing like Spider-Verse stuff where we're going to have multiverse Venom whatevers? Tom Hardy Venom's going to team up with Topher Grace Venom. We're going to get spectacular Spider-Man Venom in there. Animated series Venom is going to show up. What are we doing? I don't know. I can't say that I have a lot to say about this. I don't really have any thoughts on this at all, quite frankly. I don't know. I need Sony to stop doing this shit, though. Stop making fucking Venomverse movies, guys. Why? Oh my god. Just fucking either, you know what? Take the rights away from Marvel just for the fuck of it. Or give them all to Marvel because you clearly don't have any idea what you're doing. That being said, I don't know if I really do want Marvel to have everything because it's Disney. And I am kind of anti-MCU to the extent that Disney and Marvel are so scared to do any non-MCU thing with the Marvel characters they have exclusive rights to. So I kind of, in a way, root for Sony in that they're willing to do stupid, weird shit with these characters. Nothing good. They haven't done anything good with them. But at least it's, they're willing to do something. So I give them a little credit for that. I mean, Spider-Noir will hopefully be good. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know. Animated Venom movie. Woohoo, I guess. Whatever. And our last piece of news, well, kind of our last piece of news, there's a new Evil Dead movie happening. There is an Evil Dead movie coming out this year in July, I believe. Evil Dead Burn, which I don't know anything about. To my knowledge, not much is known about it except who's directing it. I don't know who's directing it. I'm not going to look it up. I don't care. But Evil Dead Wrath has begun filming. Is going to be directed by Francis Galuppi. Galuppi, one or the other, who directed The Last Stop in Yuma County, which I have not seen, but I have heard of it. I don't know. I like Evil Dead. Keep making Evil Dead movies. Evil Dead Rise was really good. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to these different directors doing different things in this franchise. Love that. I love when studios let different creative people have a go at these long-running franchises, because I think even if it's not great or good or what have you, a big swing is better than nothing at all. So hell yeah, I'm down for that. All right, now we're gonna get into our topic, which is kind of a piece of news, but I have a fair amount of things to say about it, so I've just decided to say fuck it, and this is our topic for today. So in 2026, we are getting a fair amount of Godzilla stuff. By that I mean 3. Holy shit, I didn't even think about it. I forgot one in my mental head count right there. Yeah, we're getting the next season of Monarch, Legacy of Monarch or whatever, which is a bad show that I don't like. I think it's bad. It sucks. I didn't like it. It was boring and bad. And then we're getting Godzilla X Kong Supernova, which the only thing that has me partially interested in that is it's not Adam Wingard anymore directing. It's a new person. It's also one of the Spider-Verse writers. That's very interesting. So this might low-key be the best one. And maybe Space Godzilla's in it. All right, hold on. This might be peak the more I think about it. And then we have Godzilla Minus Zero coming out in November. It's out in November in Japan. I think it's getting a worldwide release not long after. So it might be November. But for anyone unaware, I love Godzilla. I was raised on Godzilla. I'm wearing a Godzilla shirt right now as I record this. Wasn't intentional, but I love Godzilla. It is actually the reason I love movies so much, because of Godzilla. My dad showed me Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, the 1991 version. Or 92? Is that 91 or 92? It's 91, because 92 was Godzilla and Mothra. Yeah. 91. He showed it to me, and my mom had asked him not to, because we had all the Godzilla movies. Nobody cares about this. We had all the Godzilla movies in our cabinet where we had the TV, and I would always look in there. I was like, "Whoa, what's this big monster?" And my mom was always like, "He's too young. Don't let him watch those." And there was one day where she was out and she was doing something, and my dad was like, "Hey, we have enough time. Let's watch Godzilla. You know, who gives a shit? Let's watch Godzilla." And that was the one he showed me, Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. And that just set me on a path where I was, I need to see all of these. And so I went through all of them. I had seen every single Godzilla movie from 54, the original Gojira, to 2004 Final Wars by the time I was like 8. I had gone through all of them multiple times. I love Godzilla. I had such like a vast understanding of the lore by then. Like, I was online, I was researching it, I was, doing this and that. But then, as I was like going through them all multiple times, eventually I started being like, okay, well, let me watch behind the scenes. What does that even mean? Because I didn't understand what movies were. And so I started going through all the behind the scenes stuff about how they made the sets, how they built the suits, what it was like to film all of it. And I was like, oh my God, there's like, this is what it takes to make a movie? And that just set me on my path to like learning about all kinds of film and, analyzing film and realizing that there's so many moving pieces to movies and blah, 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 blah. But it's because of Godzilla that interest and that love and that spark was instilled in me. So I will always have a very special place in my heart for Godzilla. So all of that preamble to say, I'm very excited for this year. Lots of Godzilla stuff coming out. But we now have an alleged plot leak of Godzilla Minus Zero. And this is a plot synopsis, so there's no spoilers, no details, really. But this might not even be true. But it's something. And I would like to go through it. I'd like to speculate a little bit. And we'll see what happens. Okay, here we go. This is pretty long, so hopefully I can get through this without stumbling over too much of it. But here we go. This is the alleged plot synopsis of Godzilla Minus Zero, the sequel to Godzilla Minus One. Fuck, I already fucked it. Following the devastation of Godzilla's first rampage in Godzilla Minus One, Koichi Shikishima is determined to lead a quiet life, rebuilding his family with Noriko and young Akiko, while stepping away from the nightmares of war and monsters. However, peace is short-lived when Godzilla returns, fully regenerated, larger, and more ferocious, while something ancient begins to stir beneath I don't know how to say this, Aokigahara near Mount Fuji. That's the suicide forest, I believe, endangering the fragile nation and forcing Koichi to reconsider his promise. With stakes higher than ever, Koichi reluctantly returns to the fight, teaming up with old comrades and US-Japan alliance forces to confront the two kaiju and protect those he loves, especially as Noriko's cell connection to Godzilla strengthens, pulling her dangerously closer to the monster's rage. Alright, there's a lot allegedly happening here, and I want to talk about all of it. So here we go. Let's speculate about Godzilla Minus Zero off of a plot synopsis that might not even be true, but I don't care. I love Godzilla too much to not go crazy about this. Most interesting thing happening here, there is another kaiju. If this is true, there's a second kaiju. We had heard rumblings of this. We had heard rumors of this, that director Takashi Yamazaki was going to do a second kaiju in the sequel, and it sounds like that is indeed the case. Now, I'm interested in which one he's doing. It could be an original one, very possible, but I think the clues here, we can start to cross off some that it won't be. It's ancient, it's underground, beneath that forest near Mount Fuji. That already is the origin of King Ghidorah in Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack, GMK. I'm going to talk about this in a way that fans of Godzilla, if you're listening, you'll know exactly what I mean. But if you're not a fan, I don't want you to be lost. So in GMK, it's a recontextualization of Godzilla and a lot of his foes. Well, 3 of them. Godzilla is a evil spirit of the souls that were taken in World War II at the hands of Japan that have come back for revenge. And there are 3 ancient monsters that come to defend Japan and fight Godzilla. Baragon, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. And in that one, King Ghidorah is an ancient creature beneath Mount Fuji, underneath that forest, that is awoken to fight Godzilla. Instead of being an alien. So it sounds the same. It sounds like that's exactly what it is. But I don't know if it's going to be King Ghidorah. That origin that they're giving to this kaiju, Yamazaki might have just taken that origin and given it to somebody else. I don't think he would just do like one for one with Ghidorah. I also don't really want to see Ghidorah. I like King Ghidorah enough, but I don't know. Like, I know he is Godzilla's Joker. If Godzilla's Batman, Ghidorah's the Joker. But I don't know. We've seen enough King Ghidorah over the years. I'd like to see somebody else. I don't think it'll be Mothra. I know I saw people on Reddit speculating that in the poster that we have for Minus Zero, that the shining light coming through the clouds is Mothra. And I know Toho said that this is going to be like the year of Mothra or something like that. That it's, big year for Mothra, and we're going to be doing a whole lot of Mothra projects and blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's Mothra. Entirely possible, I guess, that it's the larva thing under there, an ancient creature. It's going to come out. They're going to do a big fight. I don't think it's going to be Mothra, personally. It could be a Baragon. It could be Anguirus. Realistically, it could be any Godzilla monster. That could just be recontextualized. I love saying that word, apparently. That could just be reframed into this new, they're an ancient creature thing. It could be Orga, who is usually an alien. But I don't think it's going to be like Gigan. I don't think it's going to be Titanosaurus or anything like that. It's obviously not going to be Mechagodzilla. I don't think we're going to get Biollante, although that would be really cool. But I also don't want to rule out Hedorah, the smog monster, because that poster that we have for this movie, I'm trying to find a picture of it really fast so I can like explain it with reference. I know I have it somewhere. God damn it, I'm wasting so much time doing this. Here we go. So I'm going to explain this as if you were looking at it. So it's Godzilla Minus Zero, and there's a whole lot of dark, ominous clouds, and you can see through these clouds Godzilla's silhouette. The spines are glowing. He's roaring at something, and there's a giant beaming light in the sky. Now, some have speculated that giant beaming light is Mothra. Some have said King Ghidorah. Some have said that the clouds make the three-headed shape of Ghidorah. Now, personally, my theory is that these are not clouds, this is smog, and the villain is going to be Hedorah. Now, this whole ancient creature buried underground thing, it almost disputes Hedorah, who is the smog monster, a creature that feeds off of smog and pollution and what have you. But Hedorah's origin is that she is in the original Godzilla vs. Hedorah, the Showa era one, that is a female kaiju, so she, her pronouns. But then when Hedorah comes back in Final Wars, it's a different Hedorah, which is male, I believe. Anyway, I'll just say it, I guess. But when Hedorah comes to Earth, yeah, that's right, she's an alien. She comes as a kind of tadpole creature that begins to absorb pollution and smog and what have you, and grow and strengthen itself. It's not of Earth. The rules of its biology can be whatever the hell the writer wants them to be. So that could be what's happening here. That years ago, like prehistoric times, this alien creature fell to Earth and has just been incubating in beneath Mount Fuji, beneath this forest. And for whatever reason, it awakens and starts wreaking havoc across Japan. And this will coincide with Godzilla coming back, which I want to talk about too. So I'm not ruling out that this is Hedorah. And Yamazaki could use this as an opportunity. Like the first Godzilla Minus One is very political. I remember at the time when it came out, people were like, "Oh, this is how you make a movie. No politics, no messages." That movie is so fucking political. It's borderline communist, that movie. It's awesome. But I could see him doing some kind of green energy, save the earth type messaging in a sequel with a character like Hedorah. And I would really enjoy that. I think, Godzilla as a political entity is something that a lot of them lose. He was created as a allegory for war and nuclear devastation. Like, that original Godzilla movie is very political. And I think some of the best ones are. They deal with, real world ramifications of violence and war and devastation at the hands of the most powerful militaries on the world, in the world. So I would love to see more of that. Minus One is full of it. So yeah, I mean, a character like Hedorah really does lend itself to real world commentary, which I think is something that Godzilla should always have a part of. Not that you can't have a fun, silly Godzilla movie, but I think that takes away from what was originally intended with that 54 movie. Not to be a purist about it, but... and then the other angle of this that's really interesting to me is the synopsis says that when Godzilla returns, he is fully regenerated, larger, and more ferocious. Are we getting a redesign? I've been curious about that. If when whatever Godzilla returns now, will they just do the same design, or is he going to look different? Because in the end of Minus One, he is completely obliterated, just more or less atomized. So when he comes back, how long will that take for him to fully regenerate? And what's he going to look like? Could he look like, like maybe it's the next phase of his evolution, like a Shin Godzilla type thing, where he adapts to the thing that killed him last, like Doomsday in DC. If they go that route, how bigger is he going to be? Are we gonna, because Minus One Godzilla, he's not that big. He's pretty small. That's one of my favorite things about that version of Godzilla, how small he is. It makes for a much more personal endeavor when they're battling him, when they're dealing with him, like his attack on Ginza. Ginza? I think it's Ginza. But the fact that he's not this absolutely indomitable thing, that he is only like 150 feet tall, I think that almost makes him scarier, that he can see you. You're not just an ant to him. You're a little bigger than that. He is conscious of you, where you are, and what you're doing. I think that it adds a horror to it that I really like. So how much bigger is he going to be now, I wonder? And if he is like getting more or less reborn, does that change him? Is he going to be as it says more ferocious, but does that mean that he's also malicious still? If he is reborn, could he be reborn in a more forgiving way, that he's going to be a little more heroic than he was? Because in Minus One, he's just out for blood. He's a bloodlusted Godzilla. He just wants to cause as much havoc and pain and damage as possible to get back at the human race for what they did to him. But if he's reborn now, does he still have that? Will he be almost like in an infant state, where he's like genuinely born again? He's not going to have any opinions, so to say. Yeah, I mean, that's very interesting to me. I am curious if he's going to have like new powers. He's going to have the, what's it called? The nuclear pulse, or the radioactive pulse. Is he going to have a different atomic breath, where it's no longer that he shoots out a fucking nuke from his mouth, and instead it's more of a laser beam like it used to be? Or I guess is, depending on continuity. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think that's interesting. And I guess that's a new way for Toho to sell more toys that I will be buying. What else is happening here? Okay, this part. Koichi teaming up with old comrades. I imagine that means that... Oh, that's another thing. Shikishima and Noriko are back, which we knew. We knew that those actors had been cast for Minus Zero, so that's not news, really. But I think it adds a little credibility to this plot synopsis. But teaming up with old comrades, I imagine that means that the supporting cast from the first movie is going to come back. Teaming up with old comrades, and U.S.-Japan alliance. In the first movie, the United States is not involved. And they explain that away in that because of the Cold War, the U.S. and Russia, they don't want to be out in the ocean operating. That's why they don't deal with Godzilla directly, because they don't want to make a move that the other could determine is some kind of war maneuver or something like that. But the United States did have a blockade of sorts around Japan after World War II, because after the U.S. nuked Japan 2 times, they wanted to make sure that Japan was basically down. That they kept their boot on Japan's neck for a little while just to be safe. Fuck the United States, by the way. Just so we're clear, I have very complicated thoughts on World War II and the United States and their reaction to Japan. I don't think they should have nuked it. I think that is one of the most diabolical, evil things that any nation or leader has ever done in the history of the world. Nukes bad. I don't think that's a hot take. But it sounds like the United States will be involved in this one, which is interesting. Are we going to get like any notable American actors in this? I hope not. I would like that to not be a thing, but I guess we will see. I think it'd be cool to have some unknowns in this playing like lead roles. But I also don't need this to become a giant thing, you know? I like -1 for its scale. But also, I mean, it's a sequel. You go big, go home. Gotta go bigger. So, I don't know. Either way, like, whatever Yamazaki is doing, whatever he's cooked up, I'm down for it, dude. The guy's a fucking master with this shit. So, whatever he thinks is best is probably best. But, I don't know. I guess we'll see. But part of the politics of -1 was the power of the working man, the power of the average citizen to unite with each other to battle against great threats and, you know, against all odds, come out victorious, even if our leaders and elected officials abandon us and hang us out to dry. So, is he going to continue that? I don't know. How critical is he willing to get of the United States government, especially at that time? Post World War II, the United States was one of its more terrifying eras, I think, because I don't want to get super into it, but after World War II, the United States was faced with basically a decision of, do we conquer the world or not? Because it was officially the most powerful nation on the planet, given that it had nukes and was the only country to have used them and showed the world what was possible in a threatening, scary way. So is Yamazaki going to unpack that? I don't know. I'm not against it, so I guess we'll see. And then the last part of this that really interests me, especially as Noriko's cell connection to Godzilla strengthens, pulling her dangerously closer to the monster's rage. This is very fascinating to me. So, in the Godzilla era called the Heisei era, which went from 1984 to 1990, I want to say 97, which when Godzilla versus Destroyer came out. I think that was 97. That Heisei era, it featured a character named Mickey, and Mickey had a psychic connection to Godzilla, which I thought was really cool. Also, that was the first era to have like real, genuine continuity in Godzilla. So I always loved that. Like, even as a kid, I loved continuity. I loved the idea of, you know, like the events of a movie actually have meaning to the one that came after. Like, as a kid, that always kind of bothered me about Bond stuff. You know, like you watch like the Pierce Brosnan Bonds, and they don't really matter to each other. You could watch them out of order, and it doesn't really make a difference. But you know, like the Heisei era of Godzilla, that mattered. You know, like each movie, yeah, he was battling a new monster, but like what was happening, it had ramifications for what was going to come later, and I loved that. But anyway, Mickey, her connection to Godzilla, it starts pretty faint, but by the end of it, she can basically just talk to him. And it's really cool. So are we doing that? Is this going to be a psychic link between Noriko and Godzilla? But also, is that exclusive to Noriko? Is she the only person who survived who's now got his G cells in her? Because in the end, she's got that mark on her neck that's moving and growing. So what does that do? Does she have like, you know, super cancer? does she have like a terrible scar now, which was a thing, which is what I thought Yamazaki was going for. The people that survived the bombings of Nagasaki and Hiroshima, they many of them had scarring on their bodies, which is why Godzilla has that texture on him. It's meant to evoke that. That's what I thought Yamazaki was going for, that she had this growing scarring on her, similar to how people that survived the nuclear explosions. But it looks like, according to this, she's going to have a cell connection to Godzilla. What does that mean for the plot? Is she going to be able to talk to him? Is she going to be able to sense him? I'm very interested. This is another movie, similar to when we were talking about Spider-Man. It sounds like there's going to be a lot happening and a lot going on. But I don't know. I think I just have a lot of faith in Yamazaki and what he's cooking up. Obviously, the most interesting part of all of this is that there'll be a second kaiju. That's obviously incredibly fascinating to me. I don't know. That's kind of it for my speculation. Just, I hope it's Hedora. I hope that there's a lot of political commentary in this one like there was in the last one. And I hope that the events of the last movie have a very lasting impact for this one. I don't know. I like it when sequels really do continue what was set up in the first one. I'm a real sucker for that shit. So yeah, Godzilla Minus Zero. Allegedly, we have a plot synopsis, and that's my thoughts on it. Okay, let's move on to the Weekly Media Club. All right, Weekly Media Club. Woo! Let's talk about Batman 1989. That was homework. Obviously. I shouldn't say that, but seemingly nobody watched it, which is fine. I don't mind. I am starting this show. I wasn't expecting this shit to go viral overnight. I don't mind. It's okay. Batman 1989. I haven't seen this movie since 2023 when I rewatched it last because I was watching it before The Flash came out. Coming back to it now, what is this, like almost 3 years later? It's good. It's good. I do like it more now as an adult than I did when I was a kid. As a kid, I found it just very upsetting. There's always been something to me about the Tim Burton style that's irked me. I can't really put my finger on it, but there's something about him and like the gothic weird shit that he's into that's always bothered me. Like Beetlejuice always like left a sour taste in my mouth as a kid. I liked it, but it just made me uneasy, which I think is kind of the point. But like this movie as a kid, I just didn't like it. I thought it was scary. I thought it was just deeply unsettling. But I like it as an adult. I think it's good. I think what I like about it most is that it's very like of its era. It's not a comic book movie that's determined to be like a definitive take on the comic books. It's more interested in like showing you a thing you might know from the books you liked when you were 4 or 12 or what have you. But like, you know, what if it was dark and edgy? And I think that's fun, you know? Like, this is not a super faithful adaptation of Batman. Like, it covers the basics. Parents shot in an alleyway. He's a weird billionaire. He's a playboy. He's, you know, got the gadgets and the gizmos, and he's beating up bad guys. But, you know, like, beyond that, there's, like, a lot of things with this version of Batman that are not... I would say not super accurate to the source material. Like, I think Keaton gives a solid performance. I like him, but this is not a great adaptation of Batman. He's not very good at being Batman. He gets his ass kicked a lot. He's not very muscular. Like, I like the suit. I'll talk about the suit. But he's not, like, particularly clever or smart or anything. He's not, like, that genius tactician that Batman is. He's not the world's greatest detective by any means. Although he does a little detective work. He doesn't feel super competent. Like, when he's on the scene doing stuff, it doesn't feel like, all right, this guy's got this. Like, I never felt that with this version of Batman. Whereas, like, with... Bale Batman, at least by like The Dark Knight, or even Affleck Batman and definitely Pattinson, when he shows up, I'm like, this guy gets it. This guy knows what he's doing. But I never felt that with this version of Batman. It just kind of feels like he's mucking about. It kind of feels like he's just winging it. He doesn't, I don't know, like I said, it doesn't feel like he's good at being Batman. But I love the aesthetic of this Batman. The suit, oh my god, the suit is so good. I love the weird texture on it. I love the abs on it. The only thing I don't like about it is the logo. I don't like that logo at all. I much prefer like the one that the Batwing is the shape of, the one that's on the poster, the one that's in the what's it called? The bat signal. The one that they end up giving him in Batman Returns. All of that, like that logo is better. But that's the only thing I don't like about this bat suit. And they kind of fix it when Batman Forever, the Kilmer suit, the Panther suit, where it's basically the perfect version of this bat suit, but they gave it nipples, and that kind of honestly ruins it for me. Everything else about it is great. They smooth it out, they fix the logo, but it's still got the abs and stuff, but it's just the nipples. Ugh. Well, one day we'll get to that. But I love the gadgets. He's got the what's it called? The line launcher that would end up becoming popularized by the Arkham games. He's got the stopper that comes out of his wrist that punches you in the nuts. He's got his little remote control thing to stop the Batmobile. Shields off. Stop. Oh, it's so good. Keaton's great. Like I said that before, but he really is. Like I like that he's awkward and weird and a recluse and he doesn't know how to talk to people. And he's just, I don't know. But I also, again, like, I don't really love this version of Bruce Wayne Batman. Like, I don't know. Like, I like a lot of it, but I don't like a lot of it. There's a part where he tells Vicky Vale to shut up, where he's like, you're a nice girl. I like you a lot, but shut up. Like, I don't know. That's not something Batman would say. That's not Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne's too much of a bottom to say something like that. But then we have Nicholson as the Joker, who is fucking credible. Oh my god. Is from the moment he's on screen, he is the best part of the movie. Other than Danny Elfman's score. That score, by the way, so fucking iconic. Oh my god. Like, there's a reason that they just ripped it for the Lego Batman game and the animated series. Like, it's just that good. But Nicholson as Joker is incredible. I love everything he's doing. The laugh he does when he first sees his face, when he goes to that terrible surgeon, that is so good. That is maybe the best Joker laugh ever committed to film. Like, Ledger's is good when he walks into that room. I think Barry Keoghan's Joker laugh is very good. But that laugh he does when he's leaving, oh, it's so good. It's so good. I love that he's got weird gadgets and shit. I love when the Joker has gadgets. He's got the acid flower. He's got the laugh bag that falls out of him when he dies. He's just, I don't know. He's got a bunch of cool shit. I like Bob, like his little henchman that he loves, that he actually likes that guy, that he shoots him in the end. Real life friend of Jack Nicholson though, which I think is fun. I love this version of Gotham. It's weird and steam's coming out of everything. It's abstract and it just feels right. I think this was the best take on Gotham until Matt Reeves got his hands on it. Because Nolan's Gotham just feels like Chicago. Snyder's Gotham feels like Chicago, and then Joker's Gotham feels like New York, which is not interesting at all. But Matt Reeves' Gotham is great, and this Gotham is great. I really do love how much steam they have. It's just steam's coming out of every fucking brick in the city. And you can also, I like that, I genuinely like this. I like that they just have the same 4 sets they keep reusing the whole time. I like that. I think that's fun. I think it shows like an earnestness in the filmmaking, to show like what they were working with. But I also think it adds almost a credibility to it. If they were filming in a real city, they just happen to be revisiting these same places. Like, it feels familiar by the time the movie's over. And I think that adds to it. It helps it feel alive, which I like. What else is good in this movie? Oh, the Batmobile. The Batmobile is amazing. What a good fucking design. And the Batwing, oh my god, it's perfect. It's so fucking good. That shot where he goes up in front of the moon, it's it happens for no reason other than it looks cool, but it's because it looks so fucking cool that you just give it a pass, right? Wow, God, like what else is there to say? I think it's great. You know, I started this and I was like, oh, I kind of like it. I kind of love this movie, actually. But I think I love it for its vibes and its atmosphere and its visuals. That's another thing. This movie's a fucking looker. That shot where he's suiting up after he's told Vicky Vale who he is, and he's like, I have to go to work. And you know, he puts the belt on, he puts everything on, and he like slowly lifts his head, and the shadows kind of fall away, and you see his eyes just glowing in the light. Oh my God. It is the greatest shot ever committed to film. Fucking put it in the Louvre. It's amazing. I love it. It's great. I don't know. I know I say I don't know a lot, but I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Keaton's great. Nicholson's great. Kind of a meh take on Batman, but Keaton's performance just pushes it over the edge in a way that I don't think you could get away with now. I think the bar for comic book movies is too high these days for something like this to fly. I think if you made a Batman movie now that got the character wrong in these kinds of ways, just wouldn't be forgiven. You know, like if you cast a guy that wasn't fucking shredded. I mean, Pattinson still gets shit for his physique, and he's very fit for that movie. But like, you know, Keaton, he has no shirtless scene in this movie. I think that's, you know, for a reason, because Keaton, he didn't get like big for it. And I don't hold that against him. I think that's fine. I don't think this version of Batman honestly would lift. This version of Batman doesn't seem like a guy who knows how to fight at all, which kind of goes to my point that he's not a great version of Batman. But yeah, Batman 89, fantastic. It's great. I love it. A true classic. Okay. Hi, hello, this is Turkey from the future. Just as a little edit, I say Batman Forever here. I say it multiple times, but I mean Batman Returns. For whatever reason, I keep calling Batman Returns Batman Forever. So the actual homework is Batman Returns, okay? Just so we're clear. Homework for next week, Batman Forever. Let's just continue it. Let's go through the Burton ones, and then we'll do the Schumacher ones, and then maybe we'll do the Flash, because I hate myself. But yeah, that's homework. If you have any thoughts on Batman 1989, I'd love to hear them. If you want to say something about Batman Forever on this video, I'll talk about it next week if you're here. But in terms of watching things, because that's the point of the Weekly Media Club, I saw How to Make a Killing, the new Glenn Powell movie. It's fine. I thought it was okay. I think he's great, Glenn Powell. I think he's great in everything. He's one of my favorite leading men working today. You should check out my review on Letterboxd. It's linked below. But yeah, it's okay. I think my biggest complaint with it is that its Eat the Rich commentary is very surface level. It's really just saying weird rich freaks are weird, awful freaks, and it'd be better if they were dead. But there's like nothing else to it. The movie kind of wants to go on the message of that it's okay to dream small, and you need to know when enough is enough, and you know, this and that, and how there's like an element of tragedy to shit. But also, I don't think that tragedy comes through in the movie. It kind of, when the movie opens, Glenn Powell's character's narrating, and he says like, "Oh, this is a tragedy." And by the end of the movie, he's like, "It is a tragedy, but it's a different kind of tragedy for these reasons." And I don't know. I think it kind of felt like a cop out. I don't know. I liked him. I think it's funny. I think he's good. Jessica Hennick is in it. She's cool. I like her. But yeah, like beyond that, I have nothing to say about it. It's fine. I'll probably never see it again. And then I haven't really been watching anything else. I'm rewatching Daredevil to get ready for Born Again Season 2. So I'm going through the whole show again. And I haven't watched it since I don't know when, actually. But rewatching it, it's fucking incredible. Like, I forgot how good season 1 of Daredevil is. I'm on episode 12 now. But it's fucking awesome. It looks so good visually. It's so colorful. I love the way shots are composed. There's a lot done with the reflection in his glasses that I really like. There's some really incredible dialogue where he's contemplating, like, what does it mean to kill a man? What does it mean to be a hero? What does it mean to sacrifice? And like the intrigue of what Wilson Fisk is doing is very interesting. The Fisk-Vanessa romance is so much more compelling than I remember it being. It's so good, and everyone's performance is absolutely incredible. It's awesome. It's really good. And it really puts to shame Born Again Season 1, I think, which at the time when I watched it, I hadn't revisited the original show. So I was just kind of going off how I remembered it. And I was like, I remember Matt. I remember Karen. This is pretty much the same. But, you know, like going back to it, it's like, oh my God, like you guys dropped the fucking ball. And I know Season 1 of that show was Frankenstein together. And I'm hoping that Season 2 doesn't have that issue because it was made with a complete vision in mind. But I don't know. It kind of just shows that in terms of a reboot, what a step down in quality. Doesn't look as good, doesn't sound as good in terms of score. Performances are good, but they're not as good. I mean, Charlie Cox, always incredible. But, you know, Wilson Bethel's great. The other one, Vincent D'Onofrio, obviously incredible. But, you know, it's just, wow. I forgot how good this show is. I'm loving it so much on a rewatch. But that's it. That's all I got. That was episode 2 of Turkey Talk. I almost call it Turkey Bites. That was episode 2 of Turkey Talk. If you're here, thank you for watching. Thank you for indulging me. Thank you for listening to my ramblings because I'm a fucking madman. That's all I got. Homework for next week, Batman Forever. Give that a watch. Leave comments. I'd love to talk about it. But that is all I've got. So, like I said, thank you so much. If you're still here, like, subscribe, all the YouTube shenanigans, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.